Hi everyone, I'm Needlecraft Annie and this is flosstube number 77. This time I have my my cross stitch projects as always, and I also have my crochet projects over here. Last time I told you I will have my knitting project as well because I will have a finish and a new start and super exciting, and I did not get to finish. I'm doing a sweater at the moment, and basically, last week I was close to being done with all the knitting and just having the sewing to do. Well, there's a whole lot of sewing for some sweater and a whole lot of threads that have to be sewn away and stuff like that. So I did not get it done. I'm just going to show you knitting next week. Then I actually have to finish. And this time we will stick with cross stitch and crochet, because then hopefully the video is a little bit shorter. I'm hoping for a shorter video for like the last 3 or 4 weeks, and it never happens because I have so much to tell you, so much to show you. So we'll see, maybe today, because I do not have as much as I normally have, or during last week's have. Okay, so I will stop talking and show you the project, so it might actually be a shorter one. As I said, I will start with all my cross stitch projects, everything I stitched on during last week, and then I'm going to show you what I will stitch on this week. So for last week, I always have one project for every week, and during that week I stitch on this project every day a little bit. My goal are 145 stitches, because then at the end of the week I have over 1,000 stitches. This week this project was Raven Queen by Mirabilia. That's what it's going to look like when she's done. And I show you a picture of what she looked like last time here. So I did manage my 1,000 stitches and actually did some additional back stitching. So here is where she's at right now. Mostly I did stitch in here in the stone something in the back. When I had stitched all that and started in her hand and her glove, I could backstitch the raven, so I did that. I backstitched the glove over here, and whenever I had some thread left on my needle and nowhere else to go, I went up into her neck area, and this is actually part of her hair, so that's pretty cool. I did a little bit more black down here on her dress, not a whole lot, like maybe 8 stitches. But yeah, that's what I did, and I'm so happy with how she's turning out. The raven looks super cool now that he's backstitched. I love his feet over here on her hand. That's pretty cool. And yeah, as I said, finished all of this glove. And next I will probably move in here, stitch all of that, because that's all going to be skin. And then I will actually move in her hair and start stitching from top to bottom with her. Because this year I want to finish the top half of this design, and the halfway point is around here. So basically this line over here is the halfway point. So on this side I'm pretty close. I'm missing only those houses in the background and a little bit of this stone part over here. And that's basically it. So this side is pretty much done. Then I have everything in her, and the other side with this tower over here. But yeah, I'm getting closer to my goal. I'm pretty happy with what I did. I mean, 1,000 stitches in a week, that's a whole lot of progress, and I'm really happy with that. She stitched on a 32 count Belfast linen in either smoke gray or pearl gray. I actually forgot, I have no idea. But I'm stitching 2/2. The needleminder is from Danka Designs. And yeah, she's turning out beautiful. At least the background is. I have not really started with her, but that will be the next step. So yeah, just going to show you once again because I love her so much. Yeah, over here there's a whole lot of chronic in here. Her hair and her crown will be super sparkly. I already looked at the chart. There's so much chronic, so many beads. I mean, this whole design has a whole lot of beads. As you can see here, those are all the beads that are called for. That's quite a bit. So yeah, she's going to be super sparkly, but I love that, so that's fine. Okay, that's Raven Queen. Now let's move to, okay, I once again going to tell you about my rotation. As I said, I have this piece that I'm stitching on daily. I will have one non-full coverage fancy lady. I will have one non-full coverage piece. I'm going through alphabetically through all my non-full coverage pieces. One fancy lady full coverage and one full coverage piece that I'm going alphabetically through all my full coverage pieces. So for this week, my non-full coverage fancy lady was the same as last week. Royal Games number 2 by Mirabilia, because last week I did not get to this piece and did not stitch on it at all, so I decided to just move it into this week and stitch on it once again this week. So that's what it's going to look like when it's done, and I should picture of what it looked like last time here. And this is where I got to. I only got 1 day on her, but I'm super happy with what I did. I stitched all of that over here, did those, or started to backstitch the borders of the card. I did a little bit more in her veil, and yeah, I did all those beads over here. She's super sparkly. All of that is Krennic. So yeah, super sparkly. And I can't wait to stitch some more on her, because my next step will be to move into the staff, and then I can finally start to stitch from top to bottom like I like to do. So she stitched on a 32 count white upper lesson linen, 2/2 full cross. Needleminder is from Denkai Designs. As I said, this is Royal Games number 2. Royal Games number 1 I did stitch last year, finished I think shortly after Christmas last year. And last year I did stitch on the Queen of Spades. And I told you, oh my god, she's so sparkly, there's so much beads and stuff. Yeah, with her, it's even worse. There's so many beads on her. I mean, I love it. It looks amazing. But yeah, there are a whole lot of beads on this design. But she's going to turn out beautifully. This year I want to finish the Queen of Diamonds, so I'm on a pretty good path, especially considering that I started her this year. I think I'm good and will be able to finish my goal, hopefully. But yeah, that's Royal Games number 2. She is beautiful. And as I said, I can't wait to move into her stuff, because then I can bring the borders of the card down the other side. And yeah, that will be pretty amazing, because then it actually looks like a card. I had that with the Queen of Hearts last year. As soon as I had those borders of the card in, it just looked really amazing and way better than before. And way more like the finished piece than before. So yeah, Royal Games number 2, really happy with her. Finally got to stitching on her. Not like last week, where I kind of just did not get to her, which was super sad. Okay, my non-full coverage piece for the week was the Twisted Pen Sampler by Northern Expressions Needlework. This is what it's going to look like when it's done, and I am presently in band number 8 in here. So I'll show you a picture of what it looked like last time here. And this is where I get to. So basically I did all the Smyrna crosses in color number 1, started with all the Smyrna crosses in color number 2, and I'm really close to finishing those as well. I have one part thread of color number 1 over here, because there are still some Smyrna cross variations missing, but before I can do those I had to finish all the Smyrna crosses first, because those Smyrna cross variations actually cover holes I need to do those Smyrna crosses in the second color. So yeah, that's basically why I had to do all those normal Smyrna crosses first. As I said, I'm really close to finishing those, and then I will have the Smyrna cross variation in color number 1 and color number 2, and then I will have this stitch, this one, in color number 2 as well, and then my next band will be done, which will be band number 8, which will actually be the band I wanted to finish last year, and I did not reach my goal, so yeah. This one is stitched on a 32 count white opalescent linen. I'm stitching 1/2 and the specialty stitches as indicated in the pattern. The needleminder is from Caterpillar Cross Stitch, and I'm stitching with the cord for dinky dies. There are 3 conversions given in the pattern, one for DMC, one for dinky dies, and one for Aurora as well. And I decided to go with the dinky dies because I have never stitched with silk before, so I wanted to try it, and this was the perfect pattern for it. So here we go. That's where I'm at. And this one you will see again in plans, because actually all I did for like at home stitching for my non-full coverage piece was were those dark Smyrna crosses, and all of the lighter Smyrna crosses I actually did for travel stitching or out of the house stitching at work. So not a whole lot of progress on this one, honestly. But yeah, you will see it again during plans. Okay, my full coverage piece for the week. That does not have to be a fancy lady, because I'm just going through all my full coverage pieces alphabetically. This week it was 4 Seasons, charted by Have Enough Designs. The artwork is by Jesse Gerka. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. And I'm up here in this in the second row of 20 by 20 blocks. So I'll show you a picture of what it looked like last time here. And this is where I got to. This is the whole piece. And I bring you closer the part I actually stitched on, because I basically only did this 20 by 20 block over here. It's stitched on a 25 count 1/1 full cross. Needleminder is from Denka Designs. I had really hoped to get to one more of those 20 by 20 blocks, because in the next one, I don't know if you can see it on the pattern, there are lilac flowers in this bush over here. And with the next 20 by 20 block, I will actually reach one of those, or the first of those lilac flowers. So I was really looking forward to that, stitching with some new colors. But yeah, I did not get to that. I only managed to do one of those 20 by 20 blocks, but progress is progress. And also those 20 by 20 blocks, those are 400 stitches. So it's not like I did nothing. 400 stitches is quite some good progress, especially considering it's full cross. But yeah, I just would have liked to do some more. But yeah, that's where I'm at. Yeah, I'm hoping to get to this one soonish again, because I really would like to continue in the next block. Yeah, this is 4 Seasons. That was my full coverage piece for the week. And the fabric is super hard to handle because it's so big. But yeah, it's turning out super cute, and I'm really happy with that one. Okay, next one was my full coverage fancy lady. And for this week, it was Mini Kating Cruncher, charted by Have Enough Designs. Artwork is by Hannah Lynn. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. And I show you a picture of what it looked like last time here. And I'm super happy with that one, because I got 2 page finishes. I finished page number 1, and I think that's page number 5 as well. So that's pretty nice. I did stitch on it, I think, 2 or 3 days to get those 2 page finishes. But yeah, that was worth it. She stitched on a 25 count white even weave. I'm stitching 2/1 10 stitch. And the needleminder is from Denka Designs. And I'm so happy. You can see all those pretty blues that are in her eyes. They look amazing. I'm getting more of a face done. I'm still in those pinkish cheeks. This pink cheek. So I'm not yet in her skin color. But nevertheless, it's amazing. I'm really happy with it. I really am. So basically, I did a little bit more than 1,000 stitches since you said last, and that's pretty cool. And yeah, next I will move into the next column, and then I will have even longer columns to go further up the pattern. But yeah, really happy with this one. And I have now done more than half of my yearly goal already. So that's also pretty nice. And I'm at 19.45%, so I'm really close to 20. That's pretty nice as well. Yeah, Mini Katie and Crochet. Super happy with her. Yeah, really am. She's beautiful. Okay, that's everything I stitched on. Not a whole lot, as I said, but I really like having those 5 projects every week. Maybe 5 are even a bit too much. I'm not sure about that yet. I will give it a few more weeks to figure it out, and maybe I will change my rotation up a little bit again. But at the moment, I'm fine with having those 5 projects. I'm going forward with that. And yeah, as I said, giving it a few more weeks to really figure out if it's actually too much or if I just do not do a whole lot of stitching at the moment and therefore feel like it's too much. We'll see about that. Okay, moving into this week. Again, I will have a piece that I will stitch on every day a little bit, at least 145 stitches to reach 1,000 stitches at the end of the week. This week it will be, once again, Lilac Fairy by Vavaco. This is what it's going to look like when it's done. I want to finish her this year and preferably want to finish her before the 9th of June because that will be her 2nd birthday. And it would be pretty nice to finish her before that point. This is where she's at. So I'm going to concentrate on that side of the background, finish off everything in here, and then probably move into her dress and start to color complete. She's stitched on a 14 count Lilac Ada. I'm stitching 2 over 1 for cross. Needleminder is from 1, 2, 3 stitch. So yeah, here she's at. I'm really happy with her and how she's turning out, but I really want to have her done. So yeah, we'll see how much I can do this week. Stitching on her every day a little bit. I had a question for you. I'm not going to do it this week, but I thought about starting next week. Should I do a picture every day when I stop stitching on my daily piece? Doing a picture, and when I show it in my video the week after, I can give you like a picture for every day, what I did every day. Would you be interested in that, or is it just fine to just show you at the end of the week and show you the whole progress? Maybe you can comment that below if you would be interested in a daily picture, or if it's just fine the way I do it now. So yeah, would be really thankful if you could do a comment and tell me your opinion. That would be great. Okay, going forward. With last week having the Twisted Band Sampler as my non-full coverage piece and Royal Games number 2 as my Fancy Lady, I would have had this week Cinderella Rags to Riches for both, for my non-full coverage Fancy Lady as well as for my non-full coverage piece. And that would have gone on for 4 weeks, that every week non-full coverage piece and Fancy Lady non-full coverage would have been the same project. I did not feel like doing that. So I decided with the Fancy Lady non-full coverage, I just move forward in the order I normally do, and therefore stitch on Cinderella Rags to Riches. But with the non-full coverage piece, that does not have to be a Fancy Lady, I take my Tiny Decisions app and let that one decide where I start my rotation once again. So I'm telling you in a second what that one was. First, I'm going to show you Cinderella Rags to Riches. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. And I'm doing the combined version up here. And she's my Fancy Lady for the week. So I show you where I'm at. I'm giving her 1 or 2 days this week. I'm probably going to continue in her, or maybe just focusing on the window, which is just background and which I'm not as motivated to do as stitching on her. So maybe I just focus on the window this week. We'll see. She stitched on 28 count casual linen 2 over 2 full cross. Needleminder is from Denka Designs, and yeah. So far she's beautiful, but there's a whole lot to do still for this year, as I want to finish Cinderella in rags this year. Okay, completely unrolled. I have to pause. Okay, and as I said, for my non-full coverage piece that does not have to be a fancy lady, I let the Tiny Decisions app decide randomly which one will be next. And again, it chose Twisted Band Sampler by Northern Expressions Needlework. I'm really happy about that, actually, because this week I did not get as much done as I wanted to. And it's just perfect to continue with this one for another week and then continue normally in my rotation. So I'm fine with that. And once again, I show you where I'm at with this one. You just saw it, but nevertheless. So this week, it would be really cool to actually finish band number 8. That would be pretty amazing. I'm not sure because this first stitch I had to do, or will have to do in the second color as well, takes a whole lot of time. But yeah, it would be pretty amazing to finish band number 8 this week. That would be a nice goal. Okay, let's move to full coverage. My fancy lady full coverage piece for the week is Mini Magic Mirror by Haven't Enough Designs. Artwork is by Anne Stokes. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. And I show you where I'm currently at. Here we go. This is the only piece I started from the top right corner and stitching my way over to the left side. And now I am on page number 2, which will be my third page. I'm going to stitch all color first and then fill in with the black. Yeah, this is stitch on the 28 count Lugana 2/110 stitch needleminder is from Just So Heavenly. And yeah, basically starting on this page. I have not yet done a whole lot on this page, so I will have to fill in a whole lot of colors until I actually can fill in the black, because on this page there is not a whole lot of black either, I think. So yeah, but so far it looks pretty amazing. It also continues to be my full coverage travel stitching or out of the house stitching, but I don't think there will be a whole lot of time this week to actually work on it, but yeah, it will come with me anyways. Okay, my normal full coverage piece this week is actually a fancy lady, and it's Story Keep the Frog Prince, charted by Haven't Enough Designs. Artwork is by Melanie Dallin. That's what it's going to look like when it's done, but so far I'm just stitching in the background, and I'm going to continue stitching in the background in this diagonal of 10 by 10 blocks. It's stitched in a 32 count ice blue linen 2/1 10 stitch. Needleminder is from Denker Designs, and it would be a really nice goal to finish that diagonal, but I think that's a bit too much, especially considering all my other goals for all my other projects. So yeah, it would be really nice to finish the diagonal, but I highly doubt it. But we'll see. We'll see about that. This is where I'm at. Okay, and basically those are the 5 projects for the week. But there's a but. Because every time one of my projects has its birthday, I would like to celebrate that by giving the project a little bit of time. Next week, to be exact, on Wednesday, or this week to be exact, on Wednesday, Tiger Chilling Out by Dimensions will have its 2nd birthday. It will turn 2 years old, and so far, honestly, I'm not as far as you would imagine I can be with 2 years, but I had to frog a whole lot, and yeah, it was just not the smoothest ride with this project. But on Wednesday, I would like to give it a little bit of attention. I have not yet figured out how much, probably something around an hour, or maybe about 200 stitches, something like that. This is where I'm at. It's stitched on an 18 count black Ada 2/1 full cross, and I'm just going to continue in here. As I said, not sure for how long. I want to give it a little bit of time. First of all, because I kind of like this project. Second of all, because it's the 2nd birthday and I'm not yet halfway done, and it's not a super big project. So yeah, we'll see how much it will actually get, but a little bit of progress there will be on Wednesday. So that one's the 6th project for this week, but I think that's fine. For the birthday, there has to be a little bit of stitching. Okay, let's move to crochet because that's all my cross stitch. Yeah, I showed you everything I stitched on, everything I'm going to stitch on next week. So yeah, that's cross stitch. Now let's move to crochet. Last time we spoke, I was working on a loop shawl, and I was close to being done or already done. I'm not sure anymore actually, but I still had to wash it and block it, and yeah, now it's completely done. I'm first going to tell you what it's actually made out of. It's 75% acrylic and 25% wool, and yeah, here it is. This is my loop shawl. It's a lace shawl, so that's the pattern. Actually pretty cool. It works perfectly to put it around twice. It's super warm actually, but the color does not really suit me. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that. But yeah, that's basically it. I'm super happy with it. It looks pretty cool. It was actually super easy to stitch or to crochet, to be honest. But yeah, that's that one. Really happy with this one, except for the color. For a lot of my projects, I just buy the yarn that is available and maybe cheap. With cross stitch, that's something else. With cross stitch, I look after good projects or something that really suits me, something I really have fun doing, where I really like the colors and stuff. With crochet and knitting, I don't care as much. Mostly because I do not feel like I'm as good as doing crochet and knitting as I am with cross stitch. And therefore, it's just I'm trying it out. Well, in the end, the product often is pretty good. And then I have this yarn that's not perfect for me. So I probably should reconsider it, and I just don't. But yeah, that's the way it is. As I said, I'm kind of happy with it. I might try to recolor it or dye it, but we'll see about that. I'm not sure yet. Maybe I just leave it and don't wear it. Yeah, as I said, we'll see about that. But I have already started my next project. And this time, it's out of a book. That's a book. It's a German book. I think that's the designer. Not sure, but I think. And the one I'm doing out of this book is an oversized shirt. And I hate turning books, but I want to show you. That's what I'm going to do. So the yarn I'm using is from Schachenmeier Katanina. It's a 100% cotton, and yeah, I will use quite a few of those. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you that because I have no idea how to say. As I said, 100% cotton, and I have just started. So far, I have done this. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what it's going to be when it's done. I really don't know. I think it's probably half of the front and half of the sleeve. So, yeah, something like that. Not sure. The pattern is not super perfect. So I just figured I'd crochet first and then I will see the end product, and maybe with the end product I can see what it actually is supposed to be, and figure the pattern out from there. So that's my plan. Just going to crochet it like the pattern says, and then we'll find out. Yeah, probably not going to show you next week again, because I will not have a whole lot of progress, and with My videos are supposed to be a lot about cross stitch and not as much about knitting and crochet, but when I have reached some specific point and I want to show you something, I of course will do, but I won't show you every week what I've done, especially if I've only done like 4 rows or something. Then I'm not gonna bring it. Yeah, that's it. Especially considering the crochet part. If you have any questions, pop them below. I will try to answer. If you want to see daily pictures of my daily piece starting next week, comment that below, please, and I will see what I can do. Because I think it would be kind of nice, but I'm not sure. So yeah, just comment below, and I will answer. I say that every time. I'm super slow answering comments, but I will answer. I answer them all. I'm just not super fast. Okay, that's it. I'm going to start editing this video and upload it, and then I will start stitching. Oh, one thing about the weather, probably. It's snowing. We have the 5th of April, and this morning I got up and it's not a nice weather. It's super gray. It's kind of stormy weather, so really windy. And yeah, it started to snow. It's not staying on the ground, so after a few minutes it's gone already, but yeah, again, it's snowing outside, and I know it will stop in a few minutes and the rest of the snow will be gone in a few minutes, but probably in a few hours it will start snowing again. So that's pretty crazy. Weather this year has been only crazy so far, but yeah, that's the way it is. Okay, I think I rambled for long enough. I'm going to stop this video now. I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope you stay safe, stay healthy, and see you next week. Bye!